So, you see that we always talk of knowledge is power. So, simple question is, do we know ourselves? Or we simply take it for granted? We are man and the women, husband and wife and sibling and son and the daughter. So we want to be recognized with our labels, but we do not know who we are. So then, entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to know who we are. And one thing you should be clear. There is no branch of science, modern science, that tells us who we are. They talk about modern physiology, psychology, archaeology, paleontology, physics, and chemistry. But they do not tell us who we are. On the opposite side, we have, I'm giving you a rough figure, but it is not less than, but it is more than that. We have 3,000 texts and 3,000 masters and a more than 5,000-year-old tradition. So when I say 3,000 texts, that constitute only 15% of the total text available. The rest were burnt down by the invaders who invaded India. Almost 85% of the books were burnt. Because you already know the Muslims invaded and then the British invaded India. So in all the text and every master, they follow the same principle and it is explained differently. If you want to follow physics, you have to learn the alphabets of physics. We have to follow the basic principles, same way. So in that respect, every master explains twofold goal: bring an end to the suffering and realize who we are. Now see that when we say who we are the real self, and real self is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. This has been explained again and again by each and every master. They validated that our true nature is peace and happiness. Now ask yourself, do you believe, or do you believe that I'm worthy of suffering? Or do you believe that, okay, let me start the journey. If I am peace and happiness, how it is possible? So what will happen after this session? The mind returns to the same old habit, same blame game, same complaint, same reaction. What it proves? It proves I believe that I am worthy of suffering. One, and you want to bring an end to the suffering. That is why you are paying me and attending the session. Aha, what a contradiction. But we find this is the way the life is. Are you getting it, what I want to say? So check yourself. Does your mind believe that you are worthy of suffering? Or do you want to give your life a chance? If peace is there, happiness is there, let me find it out. Let me discover. I don't have time. So you have time for the stress, but you don't have time for the peace and happiness. Mhm. So you see that how the Eastern wisdom works. So here the master, every master, they talk differently, but expression is the same. I'm giving it a modern expression based on you all and your temperament. When we express I hate you, I blame you, I react to you, I complain, I'm deluded, I'm confused, it is all coming from the mind. Wait for a minute. Before you blame, complain, and react or become angry, the moment you say, wait, let me check, intellect has entered into your life. We don't allow the intellect to enter. Oh, you have insulted me. You have. I'm your wife or husband, whatever it is. I don't want to go into. Uh, how dare you? Women says women liberation, men says men liberation. Unnecessary, unwanted. So when I think about this, then only my intellect helps me. The mind is always impulsive. Mind is not going to help us. Be very clear. Another journey, another part of the Eastern wisdom that's I think you have might have realized. We don't say no belief, no dogma, no religion, no cult, no conditioning, no hypnotism, no hypocrisy. We simply explain everything logically through the intellect. Hence, till the mind takes over, I will teach him or her a lesson after the session. Mind is still thinking about that blame and complaint and reaction and anger. Well, why? Why? Ask yourself. You see how close it is, how easy it is when you contemplate and reflect every time, and you will see I'm listening how to bring an end to the suffering through the intellect, and mind is playing the game inside. Mind, can't you stop? No, I enjoy to tell you frankly. I enjoy after the session. I will tell you honestly. Did it happen sometime? So that is what I say. Our natural question is, do I live wisely? Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is not going to change. What is the knowledge? You are Sophie, you are Charlie, you are John, you are me. It is not going to change. Knowledge is knowledge. Do you see that? But if anything changes, it means I'm not on the right knowledge. You are my honey, but you are crazy. So that is a wrong knowledge. I can explain you hundreds of ways. Once it settles in your intellect, no way, no blame, no complaint, no reaction, no cult, no dogma, no belief. The intellect becomes clear. That is the way to live wisely. So now see that are animals living wisely? Now compare our own mind with the animal mind. Animals, including our pet, where they pee, there they can eat. The place where they pee and you put the food, they are ready to eat there. Sophie, where they urinate and you put the food, they are ready to eat there. We don't do that.
No,
Not all
cats
the
no.
animals. Not
Cat
all the
won't
time.
eat. Cat don't eat where their litter is.
So you have trained them. That is what I'm saying. Why don't you train our mind? My basic point is this. You're okay, you're my honey, so I vomit it out with the blame and complaint and reaction. Can I hold on to it? Can I contemplate? So, what masters are saying, we have a free intellect and we have a higher level of self awareness. We have a higher level of self awareness. We can choose. We have a higher level of awareness and we have a free intellect that can help us to live wisely. Live wisely means no blame, no complaint, no reaction. Why? Peace and happiness are my essential nature. But why I blame, complain, and react? Because I'm expecting and seeking peace and happiness from you. That is the only reason. Did you get it? No, no, let us understand in a different way. We are at a crossroad. One road goes, which is known as the Shreyas. Shreyas leads to self discovery, self knowledge. Prayers leads to what I like and what is pleasant to me. Make it simple. One road leads to desire fulfillment, and desires cannot be fulfilled. It cannot be fulfilled. I was giving the example, perhaps I cited that example. You have a desire to marry Miss Universe 2022. You married, or Mr. 2022. What will happen in 2023? Desire cannot be fulfilled. Every year there is a new Miss Universe. Today I earn $1 million, but after a few days, now let me earn little more. This is the road goes to desire fulfillment, and why we want to fulfill the desire for the sake of peace and happiness, where it is not. When you bought a new car, were you happy? So after a year, the car became used car. Are you still happy? Tell me if you're still happy. No, no, I'm going to change this. It has lot of complaint. You buy a cloth. How many pairs of clothes you have? Don't tell me, but you already know it. Oh, that's used. That's very old cloth. How many cosmetics? Anything that we do for desire fulfillment, we we feel it is used now. It has become old. So the mind says desire fulfillment. Right. That is one road. Second road is self knowledge, self discovery, self fulfillment. Think. Once you contemplate, you listen to it and think again and again, you will see the life changes. Do you still remember higher self-awareness and intellect is free? The intellect of a tiger is not free, even they are physically stronger than us. Our intellect put them into a case. Mind may be stronger than the tiger. The intellect and higher self-awareness can put this mind into a case. Then we realize it is the mind that is the cause of all the suffering in the world. And it is the same mind, if it follows the path of the Shreyas, it brings the self-fulfillment, and we discover peace and happiness. So what happens in our daily living, that the mind dominates over the intellect, and it the very choice that we don't recognize that we are on a crossroad. So we don't have a choice. That is why we say we are in a fit of anger. The moment you start blaming, you have such a lovely thought against that person. It is filled. The mind is filled with those thoughts. You don't see the good point. We don't see the good points with whom we have been living for years together. Have you ever experienced that? Don't say no. Don't tell a lie. It's a fact. So it is not you, it is your mind that has taken over the intellect. So when I recognize that option, what happens? I rise in awareness, I start living wisely. Come on, hold on. No blame, no complaint, no reaction, no anxiety. And I can tell you, you live that life wisely, even for about a week, you'll feel the body is very light. Your level of fatigue drops down. I can tell you. You'll sleep soundly because you have removed the crazy mind that has entered with its impressions into every cell of the body. That is why, if you want to blame me, then your face will change, expression will change. Do you see that? And the mind is filled with the blame and complaint and reaction, then this smile disappears from the face. So we feel as if other is not noticing, other is already noticed. Those with whom you have been living so for so many years, don't they recognize? They recognize. So they are also defensive or offensive. You are already offensive. Do you see the confusion? So that confusion is removed by I recognize the crossroads. I recognize I have an option to blame you or do not blame you. Then you remember the principle: by blame, complaint, and reactions, the solution cannot be found. So you leave that path. You recognize it. You don't force your mind. You simply recognize it. Recognize means knowledge. Knowledge says by blame, complaint, reaction, becoming angry, entering into duality and a conflict is not the way. It is the mind living unconsciously, habitually, impulsively is causing this problem. So let me drop this mind. So this is known as viveka and this is known as discernment. So once we have a power of discernment, you will find that your mind becomes very light. You enter into a state of detachment. So, this sense of detachment or a dispassion is not attained by a force, but by an understanding, by an understanding, by clarity. So, what happens when you enter into that state of dispassion? Then you recognize the level of delusion. What is that delusion? I color the person through my mind with whom I have lot of blame and complaint because my mind has colored that person so deeply that I see that person is the cause of all my sorrow. I know I should not have been married to you. Huh? So why you were not wise enough at the time of the marriage? Tell me, you all are wise. So the master says, oh, you see the foolproof plan? Okay, that is my mind is blaming and complaining. My mind says that person is that person is not for me. So but that person is living with me, near me. So the master says use your intellect, use the power of endurance and evolve, rise in consciousness. So you remain happy, and because you remain happy, if the other is not evolving, they will remain upset. You change your pattern, you change your behavior, you change your attitude, you raise your level of awareness. There is no problem of ego. You remove that delusion. Delusion means that you superimpose your ideas. So delusion means simply that I superimpose my ideas, my wrong notions on you. So first is the superimposition, and then I see you in that frame. First you are for me, soulmate. Now you are not for me. Both were superimposition. And you remove both the superimposition. Is there any need for divorce? Is there any need for fight? So the master gives us a clue that we should remove that delusion. The moment you remove the delusion, first crossroad, you have made a choice, intellect, higher level of awareness, you are using both. So you follow the path of self-fulfillment. The moment you follow the path of self-fulfillment, that very attachment drops. So the mind starts living in dispassion. But when you start living in dispassion, still the delusion returns to the mind again and again. So we recognize that we have superimposed our own ideas, our own thought, our own questioning to blame and complain. We create that image only for near and dear ones. Even if you create an image about me, what will happen? Maximum, you will not join. Maximum. And you forget. But the near and the dear ones are living with you 24 by 7. We create that image. So we have to remove that delusion. The moment you remove that delusion, what happens? Satasangatve, nisisangatvam, nisisangatve, nirmohatvam, nirmohatve, nischaltatvam. Your mind is not at all wandering. It is not inviting unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Mind, by nature, seeks knowledge, and if we get the right knowledge, there is already a calmness. So once we reach to that state of the calmness, then these principles will bring an end to the suffering very fast. Nischal tattve jivan mukti. So we remove that wrong notions from our own mind. How many times, in how many situations, with how many people, and how many events you were upset last week. That will tell you the story. That will tell you the story. Sometimes you did not express your reaction and anger, but you were living with that impression, isn't it? We were living with those impressions, we may not have expressed it. So, how many times you did it last week? Is it not worth thinking? And when you think, you say, oh my goodness, unnecessary, unwanted. Because now you recognize there are crossroads. There is one path, there is the second path. And everything is happening in the mind. You don't have an ego issue. Oh, you have to say, I'm not saying that you should say sorry to, no, internalize. Did you understand? Say yes. That's what we every time we say we have understood it. So you are calm, you are relaxed. If there is a situation, there is an event, there are people with whom the mind runs into the blame and complaint reaction, you are able to hold it because you find the crossroads, you change the direction. You see, that is what is you are living in higher awareness, you are living using the intellect, and ultimately you are living wisely. Don't be so sad, you all are living wisely. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And make your body comfortable. I gave you again, I've been giving you such a simple practice that you look at the neck joint, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Shoulder joints, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body, Look at its entire body. You feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. And now look at the thought that enters into the mind uninvited, unwelcome, stranger thoughts, and sometimes some crazy thought enters into our mind at the time of doing the meditation. And then you ask the question why they are entering. No, there are corresponding impressions are already present in the mind. You think uninvited, unwelcome thoughts, but because of the corresponding emotions, feeling, and impressions are already present in the mind, that is why we are attracting those thoughts which we claim are unwelcome. So the master says, let them come and let them go. Is it possible? And if that is possible, now see, there is another way to do it. You can replace these thoughts. If we have replaced the thought by mantra, I think I use that word, meaning, and the knowledge. The word in the mantra, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. You are also saying after me, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. You start thinking consciously. You're changing. You are at a crossroad. You see how I translate the talk into a practice. So keep on thinking. What you think? Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina means let everyone be happy. So mind says no except one no, and you say no, let everyone be happy. So now you introduce a contemplative thought that if the other person is angry and blaming me because they are not learning Eastern wisdom, so they have a right. But I'm learning. I don't have a right. That is not a good right. You see? Second reason that, oh, Sukhina, happiness is my essential nature, it is within me. So you are dropping that level of attachment and emotional dependence. So this is what the mantra does. Second line of the mantra, Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Santu Niramaya. What it means, let everyone be in the state of the well-being. Every living species has a birthright to be in the state of well-being. I should not interfere in any way. How I interfere? By blaming, complaining, anger, reaction. So when you think and reflect like this mind is going to change. There is no exception. You should not separate, oh, I pray for well being for everyone except one. It is the mind is still in the blame game. And you see the third line of the mantra, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. You are saying mentally. Why you are saying mentally? Because let your brain trigger with the new words that you say to yourself. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. And the meaning, let everyone be blessed. Blessed. Let existence shower their blessing to each and every being on this earth. including everyone whom I know. So the mind that is attracting the corresponding emotion, what we say the unwelcome, uninvited thought are replaced. Understand through the reasoning. Ma kasche dukha bhag bhavid. Ma kasche dukha bhag bhavid. Ma kasche dukha bhag. Let none suffer from misery in this world. So we have a greater responsibility to take charge of our life because we are learning Eastern wisdom. We learned, we understood. Blame complaint game is not going to help anyone. So we stop it. But how? Let none suffer from misery in this world. We say, okay, our thought process is like this. I tell you, you just follow the thought process and see what happens. And then we move to the higher level of self awareness. That is what we discussed today, the intellect, free intellect plus higher. So, how the deeper the relaxation is, if I say deeper the conscious relaxation is, higher the level of awareness. How we do it, and that too is in a simple way. So, you move the mind on the head and the neck, you feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Today, again, we will do the passive practice. We will not do any. Uh, so, move the mind on the right arm. Now, understand that I told you when the mind is impulsive, reactive, habitual, full of blame and the complaint, don't think that it accumulates all its impressions in the mind. No, it enters into every cell of the body. It changes our expression, it changes the tone of our speech. And you might have noticed. So, what we are doing, we are releasing that. So, the mind moves on the right arm, be there, feel sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So, the mind moves on the left arm, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. It is not that I'm saying then you should, when you are aware, you are conscious, you can feel that. To move the mind in the middle portion of the body, the rib cage, belly in the front, and shoulder blades in the spine until the waist, the entire middle portion of the body. You know what happens when your mind goes? You may start feeling tingling, numbness, heat, or the cold. They are indications. Yes, mind is there. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Maybe lightness, variety of experience, tingling, numbness, freezing. The mind goes to the right leg from the right side of the waist to the toes. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The mind goes to the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toe, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. There is another subtle way So when you experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness, look inside, look at the breath. So when you look at the breath, do you remember the 3 points that I have been saying again and again? That you know the breath is going in and out. That knowing you are aware of the breath is going in and out. Second point, when the breath goes in and out, obviously the air strikes inside the nose and you feel the sensation. Why I stress on that particular point? Normally during the day, waking state, our mind is scattered outside, picking up millions of impressions consciously and habitually, and we do not experience that sensation. So when you experience the sensation inside the nose, when the breath goes in and out, it indicates your level of awareness has gone up. And then with the third point, that you do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So it means you maintain your attention on the breath. Now, what should I do when the thoughts are coming? Let the thought come and go. You're asking a question, you're driving your car on the highway, and you're asking me, what should I do? Why others are driving their car on the highways? Let them drive. You follow your path. Do you see? When you have that understanding, followed by the practice, result is bound to come. So there is a 3 point awareness. Now let us have a fourth point. I'm changing the fourth point. So you are not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The first point of awareness. Second point of awareness, the breath. You know the breath is going in and out. Third point of awareness of the breath, that you feel the sensation. And now when the breath goes in, count mentally, drop in your mind. Moment the breath goes in one, out one. When it comes out one. In two, out two. You go on counting from 1 to 25. And if you count 1 to 25 without mistake means what? Thought will come and it will take your mind. You take your mind somewhere and you will forget. So when you remember, you will forget. So when you recall, when you remember, you start counting again from one. You give a gentle, if I say, punishment to the mind. Why? Because we want to change the mind. But if it happens that you count 1 to 25 without any mistake, then do the reverse counting. In 25, out 25, in 24, 24. First time when we start counting the breath, 1 to 25 breath, it takes about 2 minutes. Sometimes the mind is in a hurry and then it starts controlling the breath. So you made a mistake again. So if you have completed 1 to 25, you can do the reverse counting. Or if you made a mistake, then continue from the 1 only. Again, 2 minutes. And now do nothing, and you'll find the mind has started living within. So the mind has been educated that corresponding impressions in the mind that triggers the movement of the thought, you do not get engaged. You become a witness. You remain indifferent, so to say. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences and bring the hands down. How are you, Charlie?
Hi. Good. My mind was busy, but I could see its busyness and keep counting.
Yeah, 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 that's a good point. That is why we share the experiences. I can see the mind is tempting, getting, the thought takes me away and I come back. That is what the high level of awareness is. More and more we do it, the time comes but no, not a single thought takes my mind anywhere. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I think that the counting of 1 to 25 is very helpful. What I struggle with, though, is not blaming and complaining others, but blaming and complaining myself. You see, I, for instance, I discovered today that I made a mistake. I misspelled somebody's name in some publications that I oversee. And I know I'm going to agonize about that forever. And so that's what I struggle with.
I like it that you expressed it. So, what happens behind that struggle? Their mind has created an I-ness. Why the hell I did the mistake?
Yeah.
So the mind is divided into two parts and they are fighting against each other and everyone is enjoying their life. You drop one, the second is also dropped. You have done a mistake, so let me correct it. Finished. Correct it. Simple answer. But if we don't want to correct, so what happens? On that, I-ness is also strengthened and the guilt is also strengthened. There is no end. There is no end to it. Wonderful. How are you, Mead?
I feel very steady.
Very good.
That is a really new experience for me, to feel steady, and I feel calm.
Very good. So anytime you are unsteady, calm is disturbed, return to that state. So now you see that we have a deeper experience of calm and steadiness that helps the mind to recognize the state can be achieved.
Mhm.
That is why we are doing the practice once, 1 hour in 1 week. We are, how are you, Sophie? No voice.
Oh, I am good, Girish. I the counting was challenging for me. Uh, I don't know. It's because I guess I didn't focus. I was listening to what you were saying, and that I was losing my count. So I guess I was not focused enough. Um, but but it's okay. I'll do it during the week.
So no, no, it's okay. It's a part, sometime one step helps one person, other steps helps others. That is why I always change the steps during every week. So what should we do? Well, one is to listen to this talk, and second, whenever you are free, even for say 5 minutes, and that will help you. Even John, you also. So even with eyes open, you become aware of the breath and start counting the breath. 1, 2, 25. See that, are you able to complete the counting 1 to 25, or you lost it? So when you lost, the moment you lost it, you return again from 1 to 25. So what will happen, that the mind will become more and more receptive, even if you forget couple of times, because that is withdrawing the mind inside. So that will not only remove that very I-ness John in you, but it will also remove the distractions of the mind, Sophie. Anytime, anywhere. Maybe it will take 5 minutes, 1 to 25 and 25 to 1, and see what happens. That is all for today. Thank you very much. I have one more session now.